This video isn't just another holiday postcard you scroll past while sipping coffee or waiting in line at Target. This video is a mirror, and the moment you clicked on this psychological test, something inside you, something quiet but persistent, was already asking for a soul check-in before stepping into a brand new cycle. Here in the US, we're used to measuring a year with numbers. How much money we made, how many miles we traveled, how many pounds we lost or gained back, how many big goals we crossed off our list. But the psyche doesn't count in dollars, miles, or pounds. It speaks in symbols. And today, we're going to work with one of the oldest, most powerful symbols humanity has ever held on to: the Christmas tree. Not the cute decorative version you see in a mall or on a postcard. No. We're talking about the ancient, archetypal tree of life, a timeless image that has carried human hopes, fears, myths, and dreams long before Christmas lights ever existed. Every year, we hang ornaments on it without thinking. But symbolically, we're hanging our longings, failures, triumphs, and buried truths. And today, that tree will reveal your truth. If you're ready to hear something real about yourself, not the polished story you tell your friends over a glass of sparkling wine at a New Year's Eve party, then stay exactly where you are. Because here's the question nobody asks out loud. Why does New Year's make people feel both excited and uneasy? Carl Gustav Jung gave an answer that hits uncomfortably deep. What we do not make conscious becomes our destiny. The end of the year is when that thin veil between the conscious and the unconscious becomes almost transparent. Memories crawl out, old emotions wake up, dreams whisper louder, and the psyche says, "Look at me, it's time." Think about it, a dusty cardboard box stored in the attic or garage. You open it, and that familiar scent rises: dust, pine needles, old paper, maybe the ghost of last year's oranges or cinnamon candles. When we were kids, unwrapping ornaments felt like touching treasure. Now our hands do the same motion, but the chooser is no longer a child. Now your choices come from your life experience, your scars, your victories, your hidden wounds. And today, we're going to run a unique symbolic test, one that operates like an emotional X-ray. From all the ornaments, one will pull your attention with the force of gravity. That ornament is the distilled essence of your entire year. It is your biggest truth, maybe your victory, maybe your illusion, maybe your unfinished business. And no, nothing in this video is accidental. Before we begin, let's break one silly stereotype. Here in America, pop psychology often gets framed as something women explore more deeply. People love saying men are too logical or busy for introspection. But my experience says the opposite. Men search for answers just as often. They just do it quietly, privately, inside themselves. So let's check something right now. Scroll down and leave a comment. Type 1 if you're a woman. Type 2 if you're a man. Let's see whose energy is showing up stronger on the channel tonight, who's truly ready to face themselves. Done? Good. Because in a moment, you're going to choose between 4 images, not random pictures, 4 doors into 4 states of being. Take a deep breath. Quiet the mind. Turn off logic, the same logic that has been lying to you all year, telling you to stay quiet, stay small, stay safe, stay reasonable. For this test, you listen only to instinct. Let your attention be magnetically pulled to one of the ornaments. Don't pick the prettiest. Don't pick the most expensive. Pick the one that feels like a snapshot of the emotion that shaped your year. The 4 lots hanging on the tree of your destiny are: 1. a small lantern with a living flame. 2. A magical snow globe, its own perfect world. 3. An old iron key, heavy and forged with history. 4. A shining star on the very top, bright, distant, untouchable. Choose your symbol. Lock it in. Because once you choose, there's no turning back. As Jung said, the meeting with yourself is one of the most unpleasant, but it is what makes us whole. If you're ready to discover who you really were this year, and who you're about to become, let's step into the first symbol. If you chose the lantern, sit down. We're about to have a real conversation. If, out of all the glittering ornaments, your eyes skipped past the gold, the sparkle, the glamour, and landed on that modest little lantern, take a breath. That choice wasn't random. That was your soul raising its hand after a long year of being ignored. This symbol isn't festive. It isn't cute. It isn't decorative. The lantern is about survival. It's the tool a traveler grips while making their way through a pitch-black forest. The kind of forest where the moon hides behind heavy clouds and the trail is nothing but tangled branches, cold air, and uncertainty. Your biggest accomplishment this year wasn't buying a house, landing a promotion, or checking off milestones society applauds. Your real accomplishment? You didn't break. Life might have felt like a 10-ton truck running over your plans again and again. People you counted on vanished. Old support systems failed you, and the world at times felt brutally indifferent. Maybe you kept waiting for someone to show up, a mentor, a partner, a friend, a miracle. Someone strong enough to take your hand and guide you toward the light. But nobody came. Or worse, someone came and made it all heavier. And just when the darkness felt like it was swallowing you whole, something small but powerful happened. You struck a match inside yourself. Instead of waiting for sunrise, you became your own source of light. Jung would call this the archetype of the hermit or the wise one, but let's talk in plain American language. You grew up this year. For real. Not performative adulthood. Not fake it till you make it. Actual, earned, battle-tested adulthood. You faced existential loneliness and found out you can handle yourself. That's a brutal lesson, and it rarely comes wrapped in a bow. It comes through loss, betrayal, sudden change, shattered expectations, or the collapse of whatever used to be normal. Your subconscious chose the lantern because deep down, you're proud. Proud of the way you carried your flame through storms, shielding it with your own hands while the wind kept trying to blow it out. And the lantern confirms, your flame never died. But, and you knew a but was coming. This choice has a shadow side you can't ignore. A lantern only lights a few feet ahead. It keeps you alive in the moment, but it shrinks your long-term vision. You've been living in survival mode. One day at a time, one step at a time, one crisis at a time. That works during storms, but now the storm is calming, and you're still fighting like you're in danger. You're so used to darkness that you keep searching for battles in broad daylight. You've learned to be strong, so strong that "I'll do it myself" became a mantra and a curse. You've become a walking heater for everyone else. People come to your light like moths. The needy, the draining, the broken, the perpetual complainers. They warm their hands on your fire, but do nothing to fuel it. And you keep glowing, because somewhere deep down you fear. If I dim my light, people will leave. Or worse, if I stop shining, I'll be alone in absolute darkness. Jung warned about this exact trap. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. Right now, your lantern is pointed outward, lighting the way for everyone but yourself. This year, you might have become a lighthouse for ships that weren't even carrying anything for you. And if you feel chronically exhausted, emotionally drained, numb, fed up, that's the price of running on empty. Your lantern needs more fuel. You need more fuel. And here is the truth you've been avoiding. The world will not crumble if you set your lantern down for a moment. The world is surprisingly stable, but you can burn out completely. So what does next year look like if you stay on this path? A transformation of role, not the savior running through the night searching for lost people, but the keeper of the flame. A keeper doesn't chase. A keeper doesn't bleed themselves dry. A keeper shines steadily, and people who value the light come forward with respect, not entitlement. This year's lesson: learn to say no. Each no to someone else's chaos is a fresh drop of oil in your lantern. And yes, this symbol also signals that you discovered truths this year. Painful, disillusioning truths. Masks fell off. Real intentions revealed themselves. People showed who they really were. And it hurt. Because the shattered pieces of those illusions landed inward. But now you see clearly. You no longer fall for words, only actions. You've developed a kind of emotional X-ray vision. That is your superpower. Use it. Your light will expose the real ones and reveal the takers. If you're surrounded by people who only consume your warmth, run. Better to walk alone with a lantern than be dragged into the swamp by the blind. If you're a woman who chose the lantern, the psychology of this symbol gets even more dramatic. Women with this archetype often become emotional mothers to everyone, to partners, parents, co-workers. But your nature is not just to illuminate. Your nature is to warm yourself. Your lesson for next year? Healthy selfishness. Turn the lantern inward. Light your own desires, beauty, body, pleasure, joy. Transform from a watchtower spotlight into a cozy living room fireplace that only a few special people get access to. And always remember, a lantern is a symbol of hope. Even if it feels like the darkness is closing in again, the darkest hour always comes before the sunrise. Your vitality is huge. Your life energy is not gone. It's simply blocked by stress and over-responsibility. You are not a match that can be blown out. You are a reactor. Rest, and the energy will roar back stronger. Next year, your intuition will sharpen. Your focus will intensify. Your lantern becomes a beam. Where you point it, growth will follow. Career, love, creativity, anything. Just don't scatter your light everywhere. Focus is your keyword. And one final truth. A lantern is man-made. It reminds you that you create your own destiny. You don't wait for the stars or luck. You get to work. Your hidden talents, discernment, truth-seeking, inner strength, self-reliance, the ability to cut through darkness like a blade. Your advice? Stop fearing the dark. Start shaping it. Darkness is just unrealized potential. You give it form with your light. This year, you proved you can survive. Next year, you'll learn to live. You are the light. Let yourself shine. Steadily, softly, for yourself first. Now we turn to the people who were not moved by the lantern's heroic struggle. The people who looked at the fire of survival and quietly thought, "No thanks. I just want peace. I just want home." If your hand, your heart, or your instinct reached for the snow globe, congratulations. You are the architect of your own reality. But don't celebrate too quickly. Behind this beautiful little glass sphere lies one of the deepest psychological patterns Jung ever described: and one of the most carefully hidden truths in your subconscious. Let's break it down. A snow globe is a closed, perfect system. Inside, the weather is always gentle. The snow falls only when you decide to shake it. Nothing changes unless you want it to change. That's the core of this symbol. Your biggest achievement this year was building a safe perimeter. While the world outside felt unstable, economy shifting, relationships breaking, news cycling like a storm every 5 minutes, you did something smart, something rare. You built a fortress. Not from stone or steel, but from routines, boundaries, comfort, and carefully selected people. This year taught you something essential. The outer world is chaos. And to survive it, you must create your own protected inner world. You stopped letting everyone into your heart. You installed emotional security systems. You unfollowed toxic news, avoided draining people, and curated your environment like a personal sanctuary. My home, my rules, my peace. That was your unspoken motto. And I want to pause here and say, this is a huge accomplishment. Most people stay wide open, exposed to every emotional draft. But you installed double-pane windows around your soul. You became your own shelter. Psychology would call this introverted stabilization. But you know what it really is? It's a survival strategy that worked. While others burned out, argued, got lost in noise, you preserved your sanity. You found beauty in small things. The glow of a candle, a cup of tea, a clean room, a familiar playlist. The soft silence of your own thoughts. You rediscovered the power of solitude. You created harmony. But, as always, every strength has a shadow. And yours is made of thick, bulletproof glass. Yes, the glass protects you, but it also seals you in. You chose this symbol because you're exhausted by unpredictability. You want life to be understandable, scripted, safe, predictable. The problem? Life isn't a script. Life is improvisation. Inside your snow globe, the snowman never moves. The cozy little house never changes. The night sky is always the same shade of blue. It's beautiful, but it's frozen. No growth, no challenge, no evolution. Because growth only happens at the edge of chaos, and you removed chaos completely. A snow globe is peaceful, but it's also still, motionless, a perfect moment stuck in time. And here's the hard truth. You've created comfort, but you've also created stagnation. For women, this symbol often shows up during what psychology calls nesting as coping. When life becomes overwhelming, many women instinctively start creating order, organizing, decorating, baking, cleaning, buying candles and blankets. Not because it solves the real problem, but because it gives the illusion that if the house is in order, life will be too. It's a kind of magic thinking. If my small world is perfect, the big world can't hurt me. And it works, but only temporarily. Jung warned us, life demands movement. Stagnation equals death. Not physical death, but emotional, spiritual, creative death. Right now, you're sleeping beauty in a crystal coffin, protected, unbothered, untouched, but also unreachable, waiting. For change, for help, for someone to break the glass. And the saddest part? If someone did try to break that glass, you'd get angry. Don't mess up my peace, don't disturb my world, even if that world has become too small for who you're becoming. Let's talk about your anxiety. This year, you tried to control everything. Your space, your schedule, your emotions, your exposure to others, your environment, your comfort zone. Not because you're a control freak, but because unpredictability scares you. It scares you that snow, in the real world, turns into mud. It scares you that people disappoint. It scares you that life is messy, loud, chaotic, uncontrollable. So you built a small, curated universe. Beautiful, safe, predictable. But the question is, are you happy in there? Or just safe? Sometimes, watching the storm outside, don't you secretly want to open the window and let the cold, living, imperfect air fill your lungs? What awaits you next year? If you stay inside the snow globe, you'll get exactly what you built. Stability, familiarity, peace. But also, repetition, routine, Groundhog Day. The same conversations, same people, same nights, same dreams. Nothing bad will happen, but nothing good will either. However, and here is the powerful part, this symbol holds enormous potential if you take the next step. A snow globe is also an egg, a place where something develops quietly, safely, a cocoon, a chamber of incubation. This year, you've been gestating something new, a talent, an idea, a project, a dream, a new identity. You protected it from the world. You kept it warm. You kept it secret. And now the shell is cracking. Next year is the year of emergence, not smashing the globe with a hammer, but cutting a gentle door in it. Going out, exploring, trying, experimenting, messing up, learning, laughing, living, and returning home. Not to hide, but to recharge. Your safe world isn't supposed to be a prison. It's supposed to be a headquarters. Your gift? You are a creator of atmosphere, a bringer of calm, a generator of warmth. People feel safe near you. You could build a home, a community, a business, a space that heals others by its very energy. But only if you open the door. And yes, people may track dirt on your perfect floor. Yes, they may break a cup. Yes, life may become chaotic again. But chaos is what makes life alive. Your lesson for next year? Let go of perfection. Let life be imperfect. Let yourself be imperfect. Let the snow melt. Let the world in. Your resource state is trust. Trust in the messy, unpredictable, beautiful flow of life. You built a great ship. Now pull up the anchor. Raise your sails. Leave the harbor. Discover new worlds. The snow globe is not your home. It's your launch pad. Now we enter the most mysterious doorway of this entire test. If you chose the old iron key, prepare yourself, because this symbol never shows up casually. Keys do not drift into a person's life without reason. They appear when something locked, something secret, something long avoided, is finally ready to be faced. If your hand reached for the key, let's be brutally honest. You weren't looking for comfort. You weren't looking for beauty. You were looking for truth. All year long, you've been a detective investigating the most complicated case of your life: yourself. You weren't satisfied with surface-level answers. You wanted the root cause, the original wound, the glitch in your internal code. Maybe you kept asking yourself questions like, why do I repeat the same painful patterns? Why do my finances slip through my fingers? Why do I choose partners who drain me? Why do I sabotage opportunities? Whether consciously or not, you dug deep. Into books, into conversations, into therapy, into late-night thoughts in the shower, into memories you haven't touched in years, and somewhere along the way, maybe suddenly, maybe slowly, you found something, a realization, a flash of intuition, a sharp click inside your mind. That click was the key being forged. Your greatest achievement this year wasn't an external win. It was insight. A moment where the puzzle pieces of your life finally lined up. You figured out the why. But here comes the part many people never admit. Owning a key and turning a key are two different things. You can understand the wound without healing it. You can see the door without entering it. You can find the answer without using it. Your biggest trap this year? Intellectualizing your life instead of living it. You read. You analyze, you observe, you decode, you understand. But understanding without action becomes emotional rust. You've become an expert on your own shadows, but expertise is not transformation. Jung warned about this exact danger. You don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And you did make the darkness conscious. You identified the childhood block, the limiting belief, the inherited trauma, the self-sabotaging pattern. But identifying the locked door isn't the same as walking through it. If you're a woman, your psychological pattern might show up as the eternal student archetype, buying courses, watching webinars, reading spiritual posts, saying, "I just need one more piece of knowledge before I start." But you already have the knowledge. You already have the key. You're just scared. Not of failure, but of success. Because success comes with responsibility. Success rewrites your identity. Success forces you to leave behind old versions of yourself, old stories, old excuses. Behind that locked door is a version of you who can no longer say, "I didn't know. I'm not ready. I'm still figuring things out." And that level of power is terrifying. What's coming for you next year? A year of doors opening. You won't be allowed to stay in the hallway anymore. Life will push you. The winds of change will blow through the cracks. If you refuse to turn the key, the universe might just open the door for you. And when doors get kicked open, they don't always open gently. This is the year where, if you learned how to build a business, you'll be asked to start it. If you learned you deserve love, you'll be asked to choose it. If you realized a relationship is dead, you'll be asked to leave it. If you discovered your talent, you'll be asked to show it to the world. This is a year of either breakthrough or breakdown. There is no neutral path with the key. A key wants to be used. When knowledge doesn't transform into action, it becomes emotional poison. You risk turning into the cynical thinker who understands everything but lives nothing. But here's your advantage. You see the truth behind things. You see patterns. You see motives. You see the root, not the surface. You are a psychological hacker, a code breaker of human nature, someone who reads people like an X-ray machine, someone who finds solutions others miss entirely. This gift is rare and dangerous when unused. In the best version of your future, you use this key to rewrite your story. In the worst version, you become trapped in analysis paralysis. Your purpose this year? Stop complicating. Start doing. The key is simple. Insert. Turn. Life is waiting on the other side. Your hidden talents lie in psychology and communication, strategy and problem-solving, investigation and intuition, innovation and invention. Seeing possibilities where others see dead ends. You create doors in walls. You turn locked rooms into open paths. That is your magic. Your signs from the universe will come through patterns, repeating numbers, repeating phrases, recurring symbols, people showing up at the perfect moment. Pay attention. Your intuition is sharpened, tuned, almost prophetic. And here is the blunt, honest advice. Stop hesitating, stop waiting, stop preparing, turn the key. You're afraid of success because it's unfamiliar, but failure is familiar, and familiarity feels safer. Tell that inner critic to shut up. Turn the key. Listen to the lock as it clicks open. That sound? That is the sound of self-liberation. This year you were a prisoner guarding your own cell, with the keys in your pocket the entire time. No more. Your resource state next year is curiosity. Approach life like a child opening an attic, not scared of the darkness, eager to see what's inside. Life is a quest. And you just found the item required to reach the next level. Use it. The door is opening. The draft of change is already lifting your hair. The universe is waiting for you to step through. And once you do, you'll discover that the key wasn't the end of the journey. It was the beginning. Beyond the door, the realm of the star. Now we arrive at the symbol that sits highest on the tree, both literally and spiritually. The coldest, brightest, most demanding archetype of them all. If you chose the star, I need you to take a breath, because this message is not for the many. This is for the few. The star is the symbol of destiny, and destiny never comes without a price. It means you're not operating on the level of everyday survival anymore. You're not chasing comfort. You're not chasing validation. You're not chasing material wins. You're chasing meaning. And this year, you likely went through something that psychologists call an existential crisis. But on the other side of that crisis, something extraordinary began to crystallize. Your purpose, your mission, your why. You may not have all the answers yet, but you feel the pull, a deep, steady, cosmic tug towards something bigger than yourself. If nothing excited you lately, the new car, the vacation, the raise, the shopping, the holidays, it's because your soul outgrew the gravity of small pleasures. You reached the altitude where earthly things feel flat. You've been floating above your life, watching it from a wider angle, almost like an observer in the sky. From that height, problems that once felt massive now look like tiny ants moving on the ground. This is not detachment. This is elevation. From a Jungian perspective, the star is the archetype of the self, the center of your psyche, your divine spark, the compass pointing toward who you were always meant to become. You didn't choose the star by accident. The star chose you. But with this elevation comes the shadow of altitude. Stars sit alone. And if you chose this symbol, you've probably felt enormous isolation this year. People bore you. Small talk drains you. Old friendships feel outdated. Superficial conversations feel suffocating. Everyday worries seem trivial. You might even feel guilty for your detachment. Why don't I care about what everyone else cares about? Why do I feel like I'm living in a different dimension? Why do I feel unseen, misunderstood, unreachable? Because you are on the top of the tree, and the top is always lonely. This is the spiritual danger of the star. Spiritual arrogance, cosmic loneliness, the ivory tower syndrome. You begin to feel above the world, not in a malicious way, but in a no one gets me way. If you're a woman, this archetype often manifests as the muse complex. You inspire others. Men admire you from afar. People see you as ethereal, brilliant, unique, but no one sees the real you. No one hugs the real you. No one touches the human behind the halo. Your beauty, your intelligence, your aura, they intimidate more than they invite. People worship the star, but they don't approach it. And the star becomes cold. You may have become obsessed with meaning, mission, destiny, and neglected your humanity, your softness, your laughter, your warmth, your messy, imperfect, deliciously human side. A star that shines too cold becomes untouchable, and untouchable becomes unloved. Now let's talk about next year. Your mission for next year is grounding, bringing heaven down to earth. The star symbolizes spirit without matter, but real impact happens when spirit and matter meet. It's time to turn your cosmic vision into something real, practical, tangible, earthbound. Your risk if you don't ground? You'll drift into spiritual burnout, into escapism, into depression disguised as philosophy, into endless thinking with no action. Stars that never land burn out silently in the void. But when a star grounds itself, it becomes a guiding force, a creator, a leader, a teacher, a visionary who actually changes lives. And that's who you're meant to become. Your hidden talents? Strategy, leadership, creativity, vision, ideology shaping, spiritual insight, pattern recognition on a global scale. The ability to inspire without trying. People will come to you next year asking questions like, where should I go? What should I do? What does this all mean? They will feel your wisdom, even if you never say a word. But the star's greatest lesson is this: shine without blinding, lead without dominating, inspire without hovering above others. The best stars don't outshine others. They help others see their own light. Your resource state next year is silence and altitude, not isolation, but intentional elevation. Time in nature, time away from noise, time with books, art, philosophy, music that feeds the soul. Time with people who speak your language, not the language of gossip and complaints, but the language of growth and spirit. Don't apologize for being different. Don't shrink to fit. But don't freeze into perfection either. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is laugh, eat a burger, cry in the shower, hug someone tight, or say, I'm tired. Be human. Your divinity isn't going anywhere. And when you balance heaven and earth, you won't just be a star. You'll be a sun, warm, life-giving, magnetic, powerful, centered. A sun doesn't ask for permission to shine. It shines because that's what it was made to do. And you? You were made to shine. We've reached the final moment of this journey. The moment where everything you've heard so far falls into place like lights snapping on across a Christmas tree. We explored 4 symbols, but really, we explored 4 dimensions of the human soul. 1. The lantern, your courage and survival instinct, the part of you that carries light through the darkest nights. 2. The snow globe, your need for safety, harmony, and emotional shelter. The part of you that builds peace when the world feels chaotic. 3. The key, your hunger for truth, transformation, and self-discovery. The part of you that seeks root causes and breakthroughs. 4. The star, your calling, your mission, your higher purpose. The part of you that refuses to live small and aims for meaning over comfort. Look at these symbols again, not as ornaments on a tree, but as inner tools you carry within you. And now ask yourself, does a Christmas tree ever shine with only one ornament? Does a soul ever operate from only one archetype? Of course not. A tree is beautiful because of its diversity. And you are powerful because of your complexity. You chose one dominant symbol today, the one that reflects where your energy is right now, the one that reveals your psychological state for this season of your life. But hear this clearly. You contain all 4. You carry the lantern for nights of fear and uncertainty. You carry the snow globe for days when you need to rest and recover. You carry the key for moments you need to analyze, transform, and evolve. You carry the star for times when you rise above and seek your highest truth. Jung said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And that's the core message of this entire test. This video wasn't a prediction. It wasn't a fortune cookie. It wasn't magic. It was a map, a symbolic portrait of your inner state. But walking the path? That will always be up to you. You now understand your strength, your weakness, your patterns, your blind spots, your next step, your dominant energy. You are no longer wandering without direction. You have a compass. Now comes the real question. What will you do with it? Will you light the lantern and finally take care of yourself? Will you open the snow globe and let life in again? Will you turn the key and step into a new chapter? Will you ground the star and make your calling real? The answer doesn't depend on the universe, or destiny, or astrology, or luck, or this video. It depends on your willingness to act. You've done something courageous today. You looked at your inner world honestly. You allowed your subconscious to speak. You faced truths most people avoid their entire lives. That alone sets you apart. Before we close, there's one last truth I want to leave you with. Your story isn't ending, it's beginning. And the symbol you chose today, it isn't just a reflection of the past year, it's a preview of your next evolution. This journey took depth, time, and emotional energy to create, but it was worth every second if it helped you see even a small piece of yourself more clearly. And now, your turn to speak. Scroll down to the comments and tell us, which symbol did you choose? Did the description hit home? Did it reveal something you needed to hear? Your story matters. We read every comment, because behind every username, there is a real human being with a real soul, a real longing, a real journey. And if you felt seen today, or understood, or moved even for a moment, stay with us. Hit subscribe. Tap the like button. Not because of the algorithm, but because this community is meant to be a place where people don't walk through their inner world alone. And maybe, just maybe, your light becomes the lantern for someone wandering in the dark tonight. As we step into a new year, may your inner tree shine with every light. May your symbol bring you clarity. And may the coming cycle bring you the transformation your soul has been preparing for. Happy New Year, friend. May your inner light guide you home. Until the next video, your guide in the world of psychology.